is healing. What's shaking? Welcome back to All In. I'm your host, Rick Jordan, and today we're going to be talking just you and me. A little fun time today, because we're going to talk about the biggest thing that you need to show in your life towards others, because it's probably the biggest thing that you want from others too. And it's funny because I'm not even talking about love, right? The L word. And as we get into this, I'm talking about something very, very different. But today, I want to ask you to share this episode out with 3 people. Be thinking of 3 people. As you're moved by this episode today, think of 3 people, 3 other people that would just be able to be filled up and lifted up by hearing this message today. Because we don't promote, we don't sell ads or anything like that. We actually just rely on you. And thank you. I rely on you to continuously come back and listen and utilize these crazy words that I spew sometimes and actually transform your life with them. It's pretty awesome. So share this with 3 people today. Today we're going to talk about kindness. And when I was saying, as we just started a little bit ago, that it's not really that L word either, love, right? Because everyone's like, oh, I just want to be loved, but it's come to my attention over the past several years that there's people that exist, right? Some of you maybe even that don't even know what love is. And that's a journey all in of itself that we're not going to dive into today, but everyone pretty much knows what kindness is, right? Because love is like this mystical thing that's out there. Sometimes you can feel it, people show it, but sometimes when we have issues loving ourselves, it's very difficult to accept love from other people. And that's just like a whole nother thing. But kindness is what we're going to talk about today, because that is one thing that I think that we all can relate to and understand and grasp. And it's something that we should always be showing other people, and they should always be showing us. Now, before you check out of here today, because this is not going to be a super long episode, but this is something that's going to transform your life. What could be possible for you if you stuck around with me for just the next 10 minutes or so and actually understood how you showing up for others in kindness will actually allow them to show back up for you in the same exact way, and you can actually have a fulfilling, just abounding, firework producing relationship with your partner, with your employer, with whoever, your kids. What could be possible for you if you actually had that in your life? Because here's some things that kindness does for you and does for other people. When you're walking around, I remember a woman who was in the grocery store, and she was around 80 years old or so, and she was fumbling with her money, right? And she was just sitting there trying to buy some gelato. The grocery store that I shop at, Mariano's in Chicago, they sell gelato. And I was behind her in line, and she couldn't get her money out right away. She was just getting a cup of gelato. That's it. I think it was just one scoop. And she was elderly. And I'm watching her, and then I just step up because I was getting gelato too. Heck yeah, I was. I love gelato. I stepped up, and I'm like, you know what? Today's on me, miss. I am happy to get you some gelato today. And I didn't call attention to her actual issue she was having with getting the money out or anything like that. And it was just, I wanted to do this for her because, oh my gosh, she looked so sweet and she was struggling just to get them. Like, you know what? I just want to do this for her. It's like something inside of me, and this happens all the time too with me. Something inside of me just shoved me into that mode. And she looks up at me and her eyes start tearing up. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, are you okay? She goes, today is my birthday. And she's like, my husband died 5 years ago, and he and I used to go out all the time, and he would always be the one to get me gelato on my birthday. And today, because she's like, oh, sir, because you did this today, I'm actually feeling like I have some healing over my husband not being around anymore and spending this time with me because he was the only one that I thought in my life that would actually do this for me. And here you are. And I asked her how old she was. She was, I don't remember her exact age, but she turned 80 something that day. And it just made her day. But even more importantly, kindness is healing. The kindness that you show somebody else could just very well allow them to heal a wound or a trauma because you just blew out of the water this misconception that they've been telling themselves over years about something with whatever's going on in their life because of something that happened in their life, all because you showed up in kindness and you were able to be used to heal that person's wounds. That's pretty freaking amazing, all because of kindness. Imagine now if someone was able to do that for you. It's incredible. Because this leads into another thing that kindness does, because when you move into this area and this mode in your life, in this moment, it transformed her life. But imagine if you providing that kindness and giving that kindness to someone else in that moment can transform your life too. And this happened. This happened years and years ago when I started having this mindset of just giving and giving more and giving more, on how all this stuff would just start to show up out of nowhere. All these good things would start to show up out of nowhere. You can call it karma, you can call it faith, you can call it God, you can call it your source, whatever you want to call it. All I know is this is how the world works. When you show kindness, it will transform not only the life of the person you're showing that kindness to, but transform your life by being that person, being that conduit of kindness. You will start to see some amazing things happen in your life, in your relationships, in your business, by just showing kindness. It will transform your life. Now, here's an interesting twist on this whole kindness thing, is that it is a choice that you make to do this. No one's going to force you to be nice. No one's going to force you to show kindness. No one's going to force you to show up for somebody else. No, this is a choice that you have to make in that moment, in that line. I had a choice to sit there and either be impatient with this woman, this elderly woman, or I could look at her with a look and be like, oh my God, I got to get back to work, or whatever else, or just have all these crazy things rather than being like, you know what? And I'm sure the reason that she was fumbling with her money is because of all these memories flooding to her at that moment on how after her husband passed away and how she would still go for gelato on her birthday, but now it's solo by herself. Of course she's going to be in a state, an emotional state at that point, which could cause her to fumble through the money. In that moment, kindness was a choice for me that I made. You will always know these things. You will always recognize these things. And I personally believe that even if you've shut off the switch, because kindness, I believe, is inherent to everybody. I look at my kids when they were born and how they started to grow up and how they've always had this amazing heart to be able to show kindness. And I've tried to create this environment for them that would foster this and be like, this is amazing. You want to keep doing this. And you know what? They continue to do it. Continue to do it because they see and have been just in this immersive environment to where they recognize that kindness is a choice. And maybe you grew up in a crappy house. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The people around you probably made a choice to not be kind. And that sucks. I get it. I understand because I've been around some crappy people in my life too. Especially in church environments to where it could be they do one thing and say something completely different. It just doesn't match up, right? It's difficult. It's difficult to show kindness if you've had this pattern of not being shown kindness your entire life. And I'm sorry. I feel you. I'm going to ask you right now to think what could be possible for you if you started showing kindness to other people. If instead of just passing over these moments, because I believe that kindness is built into us and that we recognize on some level, whenever those opportunities show up, that we can actually click in our heads and be like, oh, I could be kind to this person right now by doing something for them or showing up a certain way. Those I always feel that we can recognize, because you know why? Because I know when I make the choice, and I'm human, guys, I mess up sometimes. When I make the choice to not show that kindness in the morning, in the moment, and just move on with my day, that I think about that. Like 10 seconds later, it hits me. It's like, what was my problem there? I had all this stuff going on and all these things going through my head, and I'm human. I messed up. There's times I go back. There are times that I go back. There are some times that I missed the opportunity. And I think that's like, you know what? Tomorrow comes, hell no. I'm hitting this. I'm making the choice tomorrow to be kind and show up for somebody else. Why? Because kindness also feels good to the person you're showing kindness to and to you. It feels good. Who wants to feel good? I know you want to feel good. Come on. Kindness will just lift your entire day up and lift the other person's entire day up. Hell, maybe even their year, which I like to think about in this case, in this gelato story with this woman that I'm talking about. It completely shifted the direction of her life, is how I feel, because it allowed that healing to take place. Healing feels good. Healing feels really, really freaking good when you're able to close that wound and let the past be the past so that you can move on with your life and continue in what your purpose is. Kindness feels good. It is a form of love. Kindness is a form of love. And people, why? Because I feel that you can feel this. Now, we said that we weren't going to get into love today, but this is a form of it. So those of you who are questioning, like, maybe I don't even know what love is. I don't even know what love is. If someone is consistently kind to you, they probably love you on a certain level. No joke. And it might not be romantic love. You know, it might be unconditional love, or it might be like fatherly or motherly love, or it might be friendly love. It might be just love for your neighbor, right? Just for the general public. I have a lot of that. That's one reason I show kindness, because I look around and you know what? I generally love pretty much everybody else that's around on that brotherly love kind of scenario, that neighborly love, to where I want to just be kind because it is a form of love. If you're curious about what love really is in life, this is one way that people show love, is kindness. And that's the unconditional part. I didn't want anything back for buying this amazing woman some gelato on her birthday. I didn't care to get anything back. I just wanted to do it for her. You know, because we can get into narcissism and all that. We talked about that on the show before, because their only reason they're being kind, it's fake kind, it's love bombing. When they're there's the L word again. Love bombing is when they're actually doing it to get something or to get attention or something like that. Kindness is a form of love when it has no expectation of return. That's how you show up for people. And when you show up for people in that way, it freaking creates miracles. For real, it creates miracles. It's incredible, because I know a miracle happened on that day with this woman's healing, because I decided, I made the choice to be kind, to be there, and to be a part of this miracle creation, to where she was able to heal this wound and have an amazing day. Because for 5 years prior, 5 years, she was doing this by herself after her husband died. And today, she had a miracle of somebody else in her life making her special day, her birthday, just an amazing day with some incredible gelato. Show kindness every chance you get. It is a choice. It is healing. It transforms your life. It feels good. It's a form of love, and kindness creates miracles.